fight and be commanding, be effective, and that's what he did. He got rid of his opponent in a fine style, and this is what fans want to see. They want to see great fights, good power, and good matches. And Kelly Pavlik definitely showed that tonight.
All right, to Kelly Pavlik with an 8th-round knockout over Jose Luis Zertucci. Still to come. You don't want to miss this guy, 115 pounds, Jorge Arce taking on Julio Lair. But first up, let's show you what's coming up on HBO, some future boxing programming. World Championship Boxing returns on February 10th with Shane Mosley taking on Luis Collazo in a welterweight bout. And 1 week later, Boxing After Dark delivers a 3-fight card headlined by Paul Malignaggi taking on hard-punching Edner Cherry. Also that night, Ishe Smith takes on Sekou Powell, and Andre Berto matches up with Ben Taki. March 3rd, we'll be in Puerto Rico for Miguel Cotto's first defense of his 147-pound title. Cotto will take on Akte Urkal. March 10th, live at 5 p.m., we'll take you to Mannheim, Germany, where Vladimir Klitschko defends his heavyweight title against Ray Austin. And later that same night, we'll re-air Klitschko versus Austin and bring you yet another live heavyweight championship fight when Shannon Briggs defends his slice of the title against Sultan Ibragimov from Briggs' hometown of New York City. And 1 week later, March 17th on HBO pay-per-view, Marco Antonio Barrera defends his 130-pound title against fellow Mexican star Juan Manuel Marquez. For all that and more, log on to HBO.com. All right, now we are getting set for our main event here at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. It's a 115-pound bout between the excitable Jorge Arce, the Mexican cowboy. He will take on Julio Lair from Argentina. And welcome back inside here at the Honda Center. We just saw Kelly Pavlik with an explosive 8th-round knockout. Will we see the same from Jorge Arce, Max? He told us once we pressed him, he gave us a prediction that the fight will end inside of 8 rounds. And this guy's got the complete package inside and outside the ring.
Yeah, and you know, you look at a 115-pound fighter, you think, boy, if he wants to be a star, he better have a big personality, a big punch, and, you know, if he speaks Spanish, especially if he's from Mexico, better learn to speak English if he wants to cross over. Oh, look, Jorge Arce does all those things. That's great. He wants to be a star. Yes, but not exactly. Jorge Arce has a big personality, not to be a star, but because that's who he is. He fights with that kind of passion in the ring, not purposely to be a star, though he claims he's trying to do that. But that's because that's just the way he fights. And he wants to learn English, not just to cross over to be a big star, but because he wants you to hear what he has to say directly. Yes, he has the formula for stardom for a small fighter, but it's not because he's trying to do it. It's because for him and for us, it's a happy coincidence. Happy indeed.
Yeah, he told us that his camp keeps telling him, hey, we want you to box more, and he wants to do it, but he can't help it. His personality just takes over, Lennox. And if there's one thing that you see in his arsenal that you think could come back to get him, it's that his aggressiveness might be his detriment.
It is, you know, he likes to mix it up. He likes to be aggressive. He likes to get in there and take a couple punches to give a couple punches. But the problem with that is you could get cut. That affects you being a great fighter because you could lose on a cut. So for me, I wish he would concentrate on a little more defense, a little more of the sweet signs, but he says it's difficult. But, you know, in this boxing game, you can't look great without taking some chances. So he's willing to take the chances, and it's paying off for him today.
Yeah, we've seen that he is prone to cuts. It hasn't gotten him yet, but it could be a situation where a fight is stopped because of those cuts. Are you guys ready for the show?
We're ready.
All right, tail of the tape now between Jorge Arce and Julio Lair, and it is Lair coming in 1 year younger than Arce. Arce with the 3-inch height advantage and also the arm length advantage, 2.5 inches measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Both fighters making the 115-pound weight limit. And look at Arce, when he stepped on our unofficial HBO scales, he's up to 130 pounds. Rules of the bout now with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jorge Arce Julio Lair fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3-knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Fran!
All right, we are expecting a big ring entrance from Jorge Arce, but first up, it's Julio Lair from Argentina. And Lair has been in against limited opposition. The one name who you will recognize on his ledger, and there it is, Alexander Munoz.
Who will recognize?
A loss. Well, he was a former title holder.
The Munoz family will recognize.
But Julio Lair has come here to fight, man.
He has. He's a good counterpuncher. He is a versatile fighter. He is taking a big step up tonight, and he recognizes that he's in with a buzzsaw and says he's prepared.
All right, a closer look at Julio Lair with Max Kellerman.
His first trip to the United States. I don't mean his first fight in the United States, that obviously, but it's his first time in the United States, period. He seems impressed. He realizes that Arce is going to come right at him, and plan A is to fight fire with fire, but he says there will be a plan B to move and counter. Now, he runs marathons, 10 and 15-kilometer marathons. I guess for a guy that size, that's like a 26-miler for the rest of us. The hope is that plan B doesn't turn into a marathon and stink out the fight.
Some of his stablemates, Omar Narvaez and Mariano Carrera, 160-pound weight limit. All right, the star of the show, Jorge Arce, the Mexican cowboy. And it's only fitting that a cowboy rides in on a horse here at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Arce hasn't lost a fight in nearly 8 years. 25-0 since then, including 20 knockouts. Lennox, what do you think about this?
Well, let me tell you, it's a great ring entrance. I don't really like these type of ring entrances because I'm always thinking of the worst, what happens if he falls off the horse?
Lennox, the horse is dancing. It's not just walking in, it's dancing in.
Well, he looks like he's definitely doing the boogie in there, and he's doing a good job. And I think this is a thing that really Arce loves this. He loves the kind of ring entrance. It pumps him up for the fight and makes him feel good. And as long as it does that job and he boxes great in the ring, I'm all for it.
The 6,000 plus here at the Honda Center on its feet collectively. Arce said they had a rehearsal with the horse today because the horse had to dance on the way in.
And Arce realizes, he recognizes the bigger the ring entrance, the bigger the performance better be. The performance inside the ring, as Lennox said earlier, better exceed the ring entrance. It's going to be tough to top this.
Let me tell you, if I was his opponent, I'm saying, I'll be looking outside the ring and say, what's going on? I would want to knock him out because of this. How dare him try and trump the show? Look good before the fight starts.
Nassim Hamed used to come in with these big entrances, and when he had great fights like against Kevin Kelly, people loved him for it. But when he stunk it out, which he did a couple other times, people despised him even more. Arce is aware of that and actually brought up Hamed's name to us earlier today.
Looking at his opponent is not looking outside the ring. He's not caring about the horse show. He's ready to get it on. He's waiting for Arce to get into the ring.
A closer look at Jorge Arce with Max Kellerman.
Well, I said this the last time we saw him. He hits like a featherweight, and this guy's so small, I mean that as a compliment. He's 115 pounds. Featherweights are a couple divisions north. Guy can punch for his weight class. We goaded him into making a prediction. He said less than 8 rounds because in his last fight, he predicted he'd knock out Hawk Makapula in 4 and indeed made that prediction come true. And we're really looking, after this fight, let's face it, this fight is meant to set up a big fight against either Vic Darchinyan or Martin Castillo, his 2 most logical, if you can say big fight at this weight class, big fight opponents.
But first up, it's Julio Lair, and now for the official introductions, let's send it into Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present the main event of the evening. On the line, the #1 ranking in the world by the WBC, 12 rounds of boxing in the super flyweight division. Sponsored by La Cerveza Más Fina Corona. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, in attendance Executive Director Armando Garcia. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout: Dwayne Ford, Chuck Hassett, and Fritz Warner. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Jose Cobian. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO Boxing After Dark, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing light blue, official weight, 114 3/4 pounds. Professional record, 23 victories, including 14 knockouts, only 1 defeat. From Cordoba, Argentina, one of the top-ranked super flyweights in the world, Julio Chupete. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, official weight 114 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 43 victories, including 35 knockouts, only 3 defeats, with 1 bout even. Damas y caballeros de los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico, the #1 ranked WBC super flyweight in the world, Jorge El Travieso Arce.
Who's gonna give me the sign? Archer top. This is good. This is not good. Ya les di instrucciones en sus esquinas. Si no se vengan deportivamente.
Guys, it might be easier to get a horse to dance than to make superstar money as a 115-pound fighter. But Jorge Arce is here giving it his best shot.
We want to get this piece of business out of the way. As a precautionary measure, the California Commission sent Jose Luis Zertucci to UC Irvine Hospital to get checked out. So we hope that all will go well for the tough Mexican fighter, Zertucci.
Tommy, are we ready?
Here we go, 115 pounds. The first of a scheduled 12-rounder between Arce and Allaire. And right away, Arce looking to do damage to the body. The crowd here in Anaheim wasting no time getting behind Arce.
You know, looking at Arce, this is the first time I see he looks bigger than his opponent. Definitely a size difference in there.
Does he look dry to you, Lennox?
He does look dry. I did notice one of the officials with a towel wiping off. I don't know whether it was sweat or Vaseline. He had too much Vaseline on. I'm talking about Lear. You know, it's always good to have a little Vaseline on. Definitely makes the people seem like you have a little sweat on. But you can tell this is the first round where they're just warming each other up.
You mentioned, Max, that he hits like a featherweight. He's standing in at 130 pounds on unofficial scales, getting close to that lightweight mark.
You know, you see right there, you can see he's a big, strong guy, especially in his upper body, Arce. But right there, you see where their strengths play into each other. Arce attacking with Lair on the ropes, especially the body shots, and Lair trying to counter, and actually he did it once this round so far effectively with the left hook.
Lair's not really mounting any attack. He's, you know, he's in a defensive mode right now, trying to see what he can do against Arce.
There's Lair covering up nicely. Arce trying to go to the body and bring it upstairs.
Almost as if Lair is just trying to see how much power Arce is going to bring. And keep in mind, he arrived in the States on Monday, did Julio Lair, and because of some difficulties getting paperwork filled out, he said, and He has not sparred since he's been here. Has not worked out. So really, this is his
warm-up, you could say.
First warm-up period right here.
And, you know, for me, I think that's a mistake. You should always limber up and always get that chance for that last sparring and loosen up. If he's coming here and he hasn't been in the gym, then he's, you know, the first few rounds are going to be very slow for him. He's going to have to warm up into the fight.
And he's a counter puncher by nature anyway, so you're not going to see him throwing a lot of punches to begin with, unlike Jorge Arce.
And Arce really thugs with that hook to the body. They're standing right above us right now, and you can hear it like a bass drum. He's a little guy.
A reminder, Ray Torres is interpreting both corners for us.
Okay. Come on, listen up. Nice and calm. Hey, the left hook. He's waiting for it, but throw the left hook anyway. Come on, we got it together.
Cuidarse un poquito a la salida del ganchito de él, ¿eh?
El ganchito y el recto, acuérdate.
The straight right hand.
Prepáralo con recto. Tírate con recto.
Straight right.
Vivo con su ganchito.
It's only coming with a little left hook. Throw the straight right hand.
Escúchame.
Listen to me. Box him well.
Jorge Arce, according to CompuBox punchdown numbers, throwing 35 punches in that round, landing 17. Julio Lair throwing just 14 total punches. He's going to have to be more busy than that.
No, his corner told him to, you know, when Arce is throwing those punches, just to cover up and counter punch. Catch the punches and then come with his own counter punches.
He's a deceptive, sneaky fighter, though, in the sense that early on, he tends not to work as hard as he does as the fight progresses. And he has decent power in the left hand. So I think he's also not only just being defensive, but taking the measure of Jorge Arce when his back is on the ropes and Arce's opening up, looking for openings.
You know, but while he's doing that, you know, to the judges, Arce is doing most of the work. He's bringing the fight and making it more exciting. So they're going to definitely count for him.
And meanwhile, his ribs are also saying this guy Arce hits hard, because Arce is digging the hook to the ribs.
Lair, though, the nice left hook to the head of Jorge Arce momentarily.
Easy to see why Arce is a crowd favorite, always looking to make the fight.
Oh, Lair got caught good there with a left hook by Arce. And it definitely showed that it hurt him.
And Arce showing some craft.
Oh, he caught Lair there as well with a left hook.
See, Arce understood what Lair was trying to do and slipped a few counters of Lair's off the ropes.
I think Lair understands if he stands there and Arce hits him, he's going to hurt him, so he has to keep it moving. I think he's resorted to plan B.
This is what Harold Letterman likes to call effective aggressiveness.
Lair countering effectively off the ropes just then. You know, there are certain kinds of fighters you can rope-a-dope, and other kinds it's not such a great idea. Arce throws short enough punches and has good enough stamina that rope-a-dope could backfire.
Oh, but Lair with a nice overhand right there.
Lair's working on his head. He's trying to get him out of his game plan right now. Trying to get him to showboat and do what he normally does so he can take advantage of that.
Arce calls himself a showman, a little showmanship in the second round.
I think Arce's trying to say that, yo, you're running around the ring. He's trying to tell Lair that you're running around the ring. Stop running. Stand up like a man and fight.
And there was that moment of mutual respect there. Arce liked the fact that the guy had some showmanship in him.
Muy bien. Escúchame, no te quedé con demasiado bloqueo.
Don't just stand there. You gotta throw combinations, but move. If he covers up, you gotta throw punches. You're blocking him well, but you gotta throw punches.
Tenés que levantar o hacer la cintura. Pasamos, salimos, pasamos la cintura. Por siempre de repente cámbiaselo, pero hacia abajo. Hacia abajo.
Okay, throw the overhand punches. Yeah, you gotta watch it. He's counting you after your third punch. So throw more than that.
Jorge Arce says he's even a bigger star in Mexico than Julio Cesar Chavez, mainly for what he's done outside the ring. He's appeared on a couple of reality shows, Big Brother VIP, and their equivalent of Dancing with the Stars. He's also doing some boxing commentating for TV Azteca, the second largest network in Mexico. So this guy wants to do it all, both outside and inside the ring. Lennox, he said when he's through with boxing, he wants to take your job down here.
I always welcome boxers to commentate, to talk about what's going on in the ring. So I'm glad that he's finding something else to do, especially after boxing.
Crowd getting a little restless, and Arce, it's almost as if he heard them and said, all right, I'll give you a little bit of what you want.
Lear seems like he just stands up against the ropes, takes a couple punches, then he readjusts on another side of the ring and does the same thing. Now he readjusts, now he's going to do the same thing.
When Lear is covering up like that on the ropes, the only real viable target that Arce has is his body. And as Lear is taunting him, Arce seems a little more likely to throw the head shots that Lear is blocking than the body shots. So in that way, Lear's psychological game is working a little bit.
They're still hitting the forearms, though.
They are. They're being picked off when he's throwing to the head, which is he should just stay to the body, Arce. When you miss to the, even if you don't land a clean body shot, you're hitting him on the elbows, on the biceps. Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali in their first fight by hitting him on the biceps for 15 rounds.
After about 6 rounds, you definitely start to feel those punches on the bicep.
Marciano made a career of doing that, Rocky Marciano.
Well, you can get your opponent tired by doing that as well. Punch him on the arms, and all of a sudden he's having a hard time holding up his hands. Then he drops them, then that leaves him open.
And when a guy goes to the ropes and does the rope-a-dope, there's a reason. More boxing history, especially Ali, there's a reason that worked against Foreman but not against Frazier, where Foreman threw big looping punches and wore himself out, throwing home run shot every time. Frazier just kept working and digging the body. So it backfired. Here, Arce wants to be Joe Frazier, not George Foreman, when Lear goes to the ropes.
Arce knew he was going to be in a fight like this because we asked him what round is he going to knock him out, and he said, well, it's going to be difficult. So this guy covers up well and he moves around. He doesn't like to get hit. But he's trying to find an opening right here.
But he's so infuriated that he's throwing it to the head, and he's missing most of them, or most of them are being blocked.
Bien. Sigue insistiendo en los costados.
You keep insisting, but keep hitting him in the body. Yeah. He doesn't like it there. But short punches. Yeah, don't just go to throw punches all while because it doesn't affect him. He's got nothing. Don't get tired. Don't expect on yourself.
Tiene la cabeza dura esto. Vos tenés la mano madura.
Hey, he's got a hard head, but you got a harder punch. We came to win. Come on, we're gonna win. Throw back. Throw punch.
Which corner just said that he has a hard head, but you have a harder punch, Fran?
That was Lear's corner. All right, let's bring in Harold Letterman and see how he has to put this
Okay,
through.
Fran, 3-0, 30-27, Jorge Arce. Fran, I gotta tell you, Jorge Arce digs those shots under Julio Laire's elbows constantly. I mean, he's banging to the body, piling up points. Julio Laire laying on the ropes, using that winky right defense, but he's not firing back. I mean, like Matt says, he picks off all the shots that are aimed at his head, but Arce gets underneath with the body shots going under the elbows. So far, 3-0, 30-27, Arce.
And therefore, Arce should judge. I thought if that was Arce's corner, he has a hard head, but he has soft ribs. Stay to the ribs. Stay to the body. He's not landing anything upstairs.
Left hook from Arce broke the defense of Laire that time. Laire may be doing a nice job of picking off shots, but it's hard to win rounds when you're not throwing a lot of punches.
In the Rumble in the Jungle, yes, Ali was wearing Foreman down, but all the while snapping his head back. You must counter.
Well, and there was a plan. He was trying to get Foreman to tire himself out.
There the uppercut landed. Almost accidentally.
Also, Lennox, does Laire risk giving the impression that he's running by the way he scoots out of there?
Well, he definitely is. You know, this is his style that he wants to fight in the ring right now.
Yeah, he's giving the impression of running by running. That's how he's giving the impression. When he turns his back and starts to run, he's giving the impression of running.
Arce is he's frustrated a little bit because he definitely wants the man there to stand and fight with him. Laire's not doing that. He's not following the script that Arce wants him to.
And you notice, Lennox, that Arce seems to want to punch so hard that he punches through the gloves. He's gritting and shooting so hard, and that's not working.
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but I think he's saying, come on, fight. You know, Laire's not doing anything. He definitely needs to do something. This is boxing. He needs to fight. He needs to throw some punches.
I don't think Laire's planning on winning on points. I think if he plans to win at all, it's to let Arce punch himself out and try to stop him late.
I think he's trying to make Arce commit himself and then take advantage of that. Trying to catch Arce when he's throwing punches. That's what he's doing. He's covering up. He's watching Arce throw punches. Then he's going to come out with a left hook of himself and try and hurt Arce. There he goes, covering up, waiting for that right opportunity. Then he's going to open up with a couple punches.
Through 4 rounds, Julio Laire has landed a total of 17 shots.
Por eso te deja todo el costado. Se pone la guardia, te deja todo el costado de aquí. Distraelo, de repente mete el uno.
You got him.
Y sigue insistiendo. Y ya no le pegues en los codos.
Don't hit him anymore in the elbows. You're not doing nothing there. Yeah. Hit him on top and in the ear. Hit him on the head.
Escúchame una cosa. Ya. No te quedes tanto.
Hey, don't just stand there. You gotta move. Yeah, he throws too much. You gotta be smart. Hit your left. Hit him with the left.
¿De acuerdo? No, sí. Pero tranquilo, vamos.
Fran Charles alongside Lennox Lewis, the former heavyweight champ of the world, and Max Kellerman. We are ringside here at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California for Boxing After Dark. Our main event, Jorge Arce, the Mexican cowboy, taking on Julio Laire, the 5th round of a scheduled 12-rounder.
Arce's corner telling him to forget the ribs I think is bad advice. The best shot Arce has when he throws the head shots is if Laire's trying to counter and he catches Laire in an exchange, he throws so much harder, he could score a knockdown perhaps, or hurt Laire perhaps. But otherwise, he should focus on the body.
He's not saying don't hit the body, he's saying don't hit the elbows. Hit the body, don't hit the elbows.
Thought I heard him say go upstairs. But...
Fran, what does a king do when he lays down his crown? Is he a former king?
Point well made. Point well made. Lennox Lewis, the heavyweight champ of the world, huh?
Well, we can't say you were the champ and there's no current champ yet.
I still want to see if I can talk you into coming back here. But that's a conversation for another day. Ray Torres, incidentally, let us know that in between rounds, Julio Lair was complaining that one of his hands was hurting. We're not sure which hand. This may be the most active that we've seen Lair throughout the entire fight.
If Arce can keep up this pace with the force of the shots he's throwing, as many as he's throwing at Lair, he's blocking many of them, for a full 12 rounds, he will have impressed me just by doing that. I don't think Lair's strategy is complete folly. I think there's a rational basis to it. Very few fighters can throw this many hard shots for 12 straight rounds.
I think Arce should adopt Lair's style. Wait for Lair to punch, then open up on Lair. I think he'll be more effective that way because right now Lair's just covering up. It's difficult for him to get any punches in there.
I think Arce is too intent on letting his fans know, hey, if this fight stinks, it's not my fault.
Well, Julio Lair clearly having his best round of the fight. Will it be enough to win the round? Remains to be seen, but this is no doubt the most active he's been.
You think Arce is capable of following that kind of strategy, Lennox?
I don't think he's capable because he loves to fight. He wants to fight. If the other guy's throwing punches, he's going to feel funny not throwing any punches back. But sometimes you have to be smart in this game, and it's not all about bronze. It's about being smart in there.
You are, of course, a very cerebral fighter.
March 10th, live at 5 p.m., Vladimir Klitschko defends his heavyweight title from Mannheim, Germany, against veteran Ray Austin. And later that night at 10 p.m., we'll re-air the Klitschko-Austin fight in conjunction with yet another live heavyweight championship fight when Shannon Briggs defends his portion of the title against Sultan Ibragimov. Following each of our March 10th telecasts, stick around for Countdown to Barrera Marquez, a documentary-style look at both fighters as they prepare for their March 17th showdown.
Espéralo ahí cerquita. De tanto tirar los brazos se tiene que cansar y se está comiendo las contras. Y primerialo no sabe cuando lo atacan.
You got to counter-punch him. Keep counter-punching him.
Lair 13 connects in round 5. It's a high for him in the fight. Arce still outlanded him though, 17-13. So there's no question that Jorge Arce is winning the fight based on what we've seen. Even though we're not privy to the judges' scorecards, Lair isn't throwing punches really to be winning. But the question is Arce winning the way he wants to be winning?
He's definitely winning, but you know, obviously every fighter wants to win in a dramatic style. And, you know, not every fight is going to be like that. There's going to be some boxes that's going to make it difficult for you. And this is where you have to adjust and show that you're a great fighter and that you've got other punches and other styles in your arsenal that you can come out with. People like to see these type of things.
Lair covers, waits for his opportunity, gets his one shot off, and then he's out of it.
You know, we're halfway through the fight almost, and I do notice a little steam coming off of Arce's punches. Might be a little arm weary, it wouldn't be surprising.
Well, he has thrown a lot of shots, and you know, when you're punching elbows, that's like heavy bag work, and heavy bag work always saps your energy, and he's definitely put in a lot of punches and a lot of energy in the first few rounds.
Lair is connecting more cleanly off the ropes now. Now you see Arce varying the force of his shots, but I don't think that's just strategy. I think I just don't see how a guy can continue to throw shots that hard all fight. Well,
he realizes that's what he needs to do. And what he's doing, he's basically throwing the first couple shots softly and put an accent on that last punch. And the last punch is always the telling blow. That's the punch you want to hurt your opponent with.
Why wouldn't he do that from the first round?
Well, he's realized that, you know, by doing it like that from the first round, he's going to sap his energy, and he needs to conserve his energy because this is turning out to be a longer fight than he thought. See, this is where he has to watch out for. He has to watch out for him throwing punches. Lear's covering up, but he's waiting for that opportunity where he's laxing a little bit to take advantage of it.
I think there's some drama here coming into the second half of the fight. Because Lair, I think, had a strategy. I think it's starting to pay off a little bit. And it's going to be interesting, at least, to see how Arce fights the second half of this fight against the guy who's used to wearing guys down by countering off the ropes and having them punch themselves out.
See the frustration settles in.
You gotta love Arce. Doing a great job in there.
Sigue insistiendo con esos ganchos.
Juega con él.
Sigue insistiendo con ese ganchito abajo. Y arriba, un poquito acá en el oído. Y tírale rectos. Descubre a los lados. Es a tu gancho.
¿Qué?
Escúchame, tira piernita.
Mover las piernas.
Okay, move your legs and move. Make sure double.
Izquierda de él.
Here's a situation where you can see both fighters doing a little showboating in there, taunting each other.
Arce throwing over 100 punches in that round and landing 22, both highs in the fight. Let's bring in Harold Letterman to see how he has to score halfway through.
Okay, Fred. 6-0, 60-54. Jorge Arce. You know, Fred, what bothers me about this fight is when Lair opens up, he's shown the ability to fight a little bit. And I tell you the truth, it bothers me that the guy's standing there and making himself out to be a heavy punching bag. I mean, he doesn't fight. He stands there, he covers up, he gets whacked like heck. His ribs are probably killing him by now. And, I mean, he's not trying to fight. I wish that could open up and stand there and make a fight of this because he showed he's got some ability, but he's not doing a dog thing, but laying on him ropes and covering up. 6-0, Arce.
And that's right, Hal. You have to remember, Lear is still, you know, he's still dangerous in there. He hasn't been hurt. He hasn't thrown a lot of punches, so he's still got a lot of energy. So there's still that barrier of danger that Arce still needs to watch out for.
I agree with Harold. Obviously, it's 6 rounds to nothing, but there haven't been any 10-8 rounds. They've all been 10-9 rounds. Arce looks like it's not that his pace is decelerating, but the force on each blow seems to be in decline. He seems to be diminishing. And Lair seems to be coming on a little bit. In other words, the margins of the rounds seem to be shrinking over the last couple of rounds.
They're caught Arce there with the right hand upstairs.
See, this is where Arce is standing in front of him. He's looking for that opening. Hands drop a bit. This is where you have to be careful being so close to a man that isn't hurt and still has a lot of energy left.
And while Arce's out working, and when was the last time you saw Lair's head snap and sweat fly? That hasn't happened in a while, but you've noticed it a couple times from Lair to Arce.
I tell you what I do notice on Lair, a lot of rope marks on his back.
Yeah. There, Arce scoring points, but no clean shots.
Well, Arce, what he needs to do, he's throwing the shots, but he needs to take that one step to one side of Lair's body and punch him from a different angle.
And he tried to do that, Lennox, and there you saw a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Yes, Arce's winning the round on the work rate, but all of the clean shots there were landed to the head of Arce.
This is when Arce needs to step over to the side when he's covering up and throw punches from a different angle at Lair.
But the one thing you can say about, I mean, when you talk about Julio Lair, yeah, the last time we've seen a fighter cover up like that, it's Winky Wright we see he does it, but Winky does it in the center of the ring, and he controls the action. Lair just lays up against the ropes. He doesn't throw that many punches, so what do you want Jorge Arce to do here?
Yeah, I think he needs to just everything to the body, Fred. Every single thing, Lennox.
Arce with a flurry at the end of the round.
He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight. Just keep throwing. I'm going to knock him out now. Yeah, don't let him just hit you in the arms. Come on, we got to win. You got to be quick. Do something.
Lair's corner pleading with him to do something. He definitely needs to step it up, you know. Time is running out.
Arce's corner, meanwhile, saying he doesn't want, Arce saying he doesn't want to fight. Maybe he doesn't want to fight yet. Maybe Arce is not soft enough yet for Lair to really make his, because clearly it's going to be a KO effort if he's really trying to win this fight in the late rounds. It's not going to be on points.
But how sound would that strategy be to wait for Arce to tire out? When have we seen that from Jorge Arce?
It's a 25-round fight. In a 25-round fight, Lair would have a real shot here.
I mean, I would question that strategy coming into the fight, if that indeed is what it is.
This were the old days, Fran, of the 40-rounders. Lair could be champ.
Lennox, how hard is it when you're in with an opponent who doesn't want to trade with you? And there's a difference between being a counterpuncher and standing there picking your shots as opposed to just not throwing that many punches at all. How difficult is it to remain patient?
It's very difficult, and especially like Arce, he's not patient. He wants to mix it up. He wants his opponent Lair to throw some punches so he can throw some punches and hit. But what he's doing, what it can do, it can make him, you know, lackadaisical a little bit, and that's when Lair may throw a great punch and catch you. So he has to still be careful, still stay focused, and you know, go about his job as normal. Throw a lot of punches and try and get through with some punches.
Julio Lair is 38-7-8 as an amateur fighter, a three-time national champ in Argentina, but this is his first fight in the United States. As Max mentioned earlier, his first trip to the United States.
Well, somebody should tell him when he comes to America, he needs to fight. It's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
Meanwhile, Jorge Arce has quite a bit of exposure. He fought on the undercard of Mayweather Judah, on the undercard of Jose Luis Castillo, Diego Morales, that rematch, on the undercard of Morales versus Pacquiao, and in many instances, stole the show. This is his second appearance on Boxing After Dark. Feigning that he was hurt there.
And again, here's Arce taking the round with his work rate, and yet every clean, effective punching around was landed by Lair. I'm not suggesting Lair's winning the round. He isn't. But he is landing the only clean punches to the head.
But it's certainly
not enough of them. And he doesn't appear to have the kind of punching power that he can rely on it late in the fight to win.
Arce's so much in the lead right now. If I was in his position, I would lay back on the ropes myself and let Lair come and try and win the fight. It's up to Lair to try and win this fight. It's not up to Arce to win it because he's basically got the fight won.
Well, you hear Lair's corner imploring him to throw more punches, so it's certainly not their plan.
You were a 250-pound heavyweight champ, Lennox. You could lay her on the ropes if you wanted, still make millions of dollars. Arce cannot.
Y hace rato de clavarse un buen recto abajo, sigue insistiendo.
We're going to see some effective body punches from Arce here, where he is catching him in the body. You know, you're not hitting him on the elbow all the time. Some of them body punches are definitely getting through, and Lair is definitely feeling them.
We hit the 9th round here of a scheduled 12-round fight between 115-pounders Jorge Arce and Julio Lair. Arce in the black, Lair in the light blue. And if Lair indeed is waiting for Arce to tire out, at some point, then we should see his offensive production start to rise.
Arce's stamina is excellent. His conditioning is superb, obviously.
He's also talking to him. It sounds like he's pleading with him, saying, come on, man, throw some punches. Fight, let's fight.
Arce will make it very clear at all times, if the fight is bad, it's not my fault.
Well, the lone loss on Julio Lair's record came to Alexander Munoz, a former title holder at 115 pounds. And Lair says, hey, you know what? People talk about my limited opposition. There I fought a guy who was a former champion, and he did go the distance with him, but he lost virtually every round in a unanimous decision. And Arce, one of his concerns coming into this fight was, is Lair going to be satisfied just hanging around?
And there again, the clean shots to the head. When was the last time Arce landed a clean? That was the first one in about 3 or 4 rounds.
Well, this is what I've been telling you. You have to really be careful. You know, you can get lackadaisical in there. And like I said, Lair hasn't been hurt. He's still got a lot of energy. He's still dangerous in there.
Lair, I think, has decided to try to win this fight and try to win it now. And here's Arce's best shot to catch him in an exchange.
I think this is what Arce wants. Arce wants Lair to open up.
No doubt.
If he opens up, he has a better chance in catching him and knocking him out.
He has a chance of catching him at all. Because when he's on the ropes like that, he's not catching him cleanly to the head. Not at all.
See, even Arce is waiting for the counter punch now. He knows the counter punch is coming, so he's preparing himself for it, and then he's going to come back with a counter punch of his own.
Arce doing a nice job of mixing it up with the body.
Complete lack of respect, man. He's standing right in front of Lair with a complete lack of respect for Lair's punching power.
Well, he wants to bait him into trying to counter so he can get some action.
He's baiting him into getting hit in the face. That's happening right now.
That was a good exchange from Lair. Trying to survive or trying to win. Big difference between the two. We will see what the Julio Lair's plans are as we start to reach the championship rounds.
No quiere problemas, está cubriendo, nada más está sobreviviendo.
You gotta throw the punches real short.
Siguen siendo con los rectos, ganchos abajo, recto abajo, pero siguen siendo con los rectos.
You're going to see Lair throwing a great counter punch, catching Arce, and Arce mocking him a little bit, showing him that, you know, that never really hurt. Let's go. Give me some more.
Le podés ganar. Dale que le podés ganar. Cuando hace la boludez es porque está nervioso.
1, 2, throw a left hook. Do something.
As we hit the 10th round, let's bring in Harold Letterman and see how he has a fight scored.
Okay, friend, 9 rounds to nothing, 90-81. Jorge Arce. You know, in the 9th round, I mean, Lair came out of that shell a couple of times and tried to make a fight of it, but he goes right back into it and gets pounded. I mean, the guy really just is not fighting enough to win a round. I think it's a darn shame. I mean, like Max says, he's got some ability. He lands well to the head when he comes out, but my God, he's landing doing an imitation of a punching bag. And, you know, Jorge Arce really, the aggressive into those clean body shots. Give credit to referee Jose Cobayan, who's, you know, giving Arce a little bit of credit, you know, not saying they're low blows, but giving him a little leeway with the shots to the body. 9-0, Arce.
To echo Harold's point, total through 9, Arce's thrown 680 punches. Lair averaging just over 30 a round and thrown 276, and Arce's landed over 100 more.
When he has come out of his defensive shell there, he has scored, but he's also been countered cleanly to the head. And maybe he's not a good enough defensive fighter to make Arce miss in the middle of the ring, and can only make him miss when his hands are tucked, you know, on the ropes.
Arce put himself on the ropes there. I seen him move towards the rope. He wants to make it a fight. He wants Lear to come at him. See, he's snapping his hands together. He's saying to Lear, come on, here I am.
Not 100 years ago, Jim Driscoll and Abe Attell and guys like that in this weight neighborhood would fight 20-plus rounds. And in that era, Lear would be an interesting matchup. In this one, he's running out of rounds.
Well, this is only the third time in Lear's career that he has made it to the 10th round, the 14th time for Jorge Arce. Arce's knockout streak here could be on the line. He's won the last 8 by knockout.
I think Lear also anticipated fighting the way he did, that Arce would have less gas left in the tank at this stage of the fight. You have to credit Arce's conditioning.
Well, Arce is pretty smart in there as well. He realizes that, you know, he's expended a lot of energy. He wants Lear to come at him a bit more, so he's put his back against the ropes, hoping to invite Lear to come and take a couple shots at him.
Julio Lear started to pick things up around the 7th and 8th round of this fight, but we are seeing more of the same. A lot of covering, not much punching.
Mira, ese round no, se faltan 2 roundcitos. Él está saliendo
2 more rounds.
Estos 2 últimos rounds.
Come on, we gotta do something. He's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
We got 2 rounds to go. Yeah, watch yourself. Keep
pegar.
yourself busy and be careful. He still doesn't want to fight. All right, throw both hands and then move back. You gotta throw now.
The last time we saw Jorge Arce on Boxing After Dark, he came in on a motorcycle. This time he wanted to up the ante. He came in on a dancing horse. The Mexican cowboy told us the horse was going to dance. I wasn't quite sure if we'd actually see that, but we did.
That's the first time I've seen a horse do the boogie.
Not a lot of dancing inside the ring from Jorge Arce. Julio Lear, though.
But you see the strategy, at least in theory here. Lear coming out of the shell, expecting to find a more vulnerable, worn-down target in Arce, and in fact, that's what he is finding, but Arce's in such good shape that he's not all the way worn down. And Lear is still his temperament is a cautious temperament.
So Arce is he's pretty smart in there. He's doing the right thing. He knows that Lear wants to try and bait him into a counter-punch situation. So he's doing the right things, covering up, making sure that he's getting out of punch arms after he throws his shots. After Arce throws his shot, he's aware that Lear might come back and wants to come back with a punch.
Lennox, do you think if he would have been just focusing on the body, Arce that is, over the first half of the fight, he could have sufficiently worn down Lear and set him up for a knockout in the second half?
He did a little matador thing right there. Yeah, I think he could have, but, you know, I don't think he should have concentrated on the body totally. You know, he's got an arsenal filled with different punches he should use, and the body is not the only place that he needs to go after.
Even though he wasn't landing anything upstairs?
No, I think it has a lot to do with his foot positioning.
Oh, he caught him there.
Caught him in the exchange.
Arce caught him there. He
Good counter. And now Lair is throwing back.
And let me tell you, Lair knows if he opens up, Arce is going to catch him. That's why he hasn't been offering up.
That's why he's fought against the ropes with his hands up the whole fight. And so really, the strategy is not so much let him punch himself out of choice. It's a strategy of necessity.
And Lair leaves himself vulnerable when he starts to counter because that's when he comes forward, and that's where he got caught.
Not just counter, when he opens up and throws any punches, that's when he leaves himself open. This is what Arce wants. Arce wants him to open up so he can get in there and throw some and land some good punches.
Jorge Arce feeding off the crowd, and now Lair limping.
No, that's just a strategy he's using. I don't think he's
that he got hit low.
No, he's just being coy because he got hit with a body shot, which he's trying to walk off. I believe he's trying to rest, he's trying to recover. I think the body shots will definitely get into him, and he knows it, and this is his way of trying to take some time out.
Well, referee Jose Cobian must believe that he did get hit low, otherwise he wouldn't be giving him the time
I mean,
to recuperate.
Even the crowd is saying, no way, he didn't hit him low. I think the ref needs to take advice from one of the judges and ask.
¿Cuánto tiempo? ¿Está bien? ¿Está bien? I'm in. Hasta arriba.
What we found out there was that he told the ref, according to Red Torres, that he had a Charlie horse.
Well, you don't get time out for Charlie horses. All the horse stuff comes before the fight, apparently, here tonight.
No, le pegó abajo. Le pegó un golpe bajo. ¿Ah? No, le va a bajar un punto, le va a bajar un punto. Sí. Sí. Vamos, escúchame. Último, ¿no? Sí, vamos.
Toma. Ya está listo. Eso, mete un round. Puede salir con un cabezazo.
Be careful with the headbutt now.
En la silla ya no quiere nada.
Here we go, left hook. That caught Lair right on the chin. As he was opening up, trying to throw a shot, he got caught. And here's the low blow that they say. It wasn't low, I think it was right on the belt line.
I agree with you.
And that's the punch that really affected him.
Certainly didn't look like it was on the middle of his thigh where he was indicating he was hurt.
Crowd on its feet here in the 12th round, and Jorge Arce wants to give the crowd what it came to see. Arce opens up.
Now the irony is when you hurt a guy to the head, you want to finish him, go back down to the body, which is what Arce smartly did last round. So desperate for the knockout, he's really looking to get there some kind of an exchange.
Lair's definitely running out of time right now. Needs to mount some type of an attack. And he's wary of that because last time he did that, he got hurt.
I think here's where a fighter like Jorge Arce still wins with the fans because it's the 12th round. He's been throwing a ton of punches throughout the fight, and he's clearly ahead on the scorecards. He could coast his way in here, but he is still fighting as hard as he did in the early rounds because he wants to finish the job.
There's an urgency for a knockout. You're absolutely right, Fran. There's a desperation to score the knockout, a passion that the fans respond to.
And I think Arce is not satisfied unless he gets that knockout. That's what he's working towards, trying to knock out Lair. He knows he can do it. If Lair sticks to the plan and opens up, maybe he can catch him and knock him out before the end of this fight.
And at this point, Julio Lair strictly looking to say, I won 12 rounds with Jorge Arce. Arce also knows, as a little guy, he's got to put on a big show to get notice and recognition. Lennox Lewis believes he's one of the most exciting fighters in the game today. But it is difficult to mix it up if the guy you're fighting, Lennox, wants no part of that.
And it's true. I mean, the fans understand that he's trying his best in there, so they have to give him respect. That's what they're shouting from right now. I mean, he's ending it in fine style right now. This is what he's doing for the fans, and he's doing for himself. He's just a great competitor.
The fire plug at 115 pounds, Jorge Arce, going out to the very end.
Listen to the crowd. The crowd is cheering like they just saw something excellent, and what they saw was a relatively dull fight.
Arce is a crowd pleaser.
He is. That's the point.
And that's what he's trying to do, please the crowd, make an excitement for the crowd and for himself. And this is why fans love to watch him. This is what makes him an exciting boxer.
Where other fighters would use their opponent going into a defensive shell as an excuse not to be exciting, Arce's passion instead wins the crowd over.
Exciting.
And there you see it's a clean sweep on the scorecard of Harold Letterman.
Not one of Harold's tougher assignments.
Arce shrugs his shoulders there to say, hey, I tried. Did everything I could. Can't do it alone.
Not exactly Mosley De La Hoya 2. Not a lot of toss-up rounds here.
Jorge Arce looking to improve to 46-3-1. His knockout streak will come to an end. He had knocked out his last 8 opponents, but he had won 25 in a row. Let's send it into Michael Buffer to see if it's 26.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Dwayne Ford scores it 117-109. Chuck Hassett and Fritz Warner both scored about 117-110. All to the winner by unanimous decision. De los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. Still #1 in the world, El Travieso Jorge Arce.
Jorge Arce, a winner by unanimous decision, which is exactly what we figured here at ringside. The judges agreeing with Harold Letterman, but Harold giving Arce every round. Total punches of this bout between Arce and Lair. And there you see Arce throwing nearly 900 punches, and Lair averaging a little under 30 per round. So if you're only throwing 30 per round and you're getting outlanded nearly 2.5 to 1, it's going to be hard to win a fight. So the Mexican cowboy, Lennox, handles his business and picks up his 44th victory. In your estimation, it was obvious Lair was more interested in surviving than actually trying to win the fight. Did Arce lose any of his luster tonight?
I don't think he lost any of his fans. I mean, I think he did what he needed to do. He went out there, he tried to perform as well as he could. He threw a lot of punches. He showed great stamina. He showed the will to win. And that's the most his fans could ask for him. And, you know, a great show coming in with the horse and a great show in the ring. Obviously, he needs a better opponent to, you know, bring great things out of him. But, you know, having an opponent in there that covers up, that doesn't throw any punches, is difficult to fight against.
And getting a little dap from you on the ring interest is huge, because you're not a guy who's a big fan of that. So Jorge Arce defeats Julio Lair. And earlier, first fight, it was Kelly Pavlik taking out Jose Luis Zertucci, Max. And you think that Pavlik has ascended to that level of top middleweights?
Well, he's taken another step in that direction. You know, Edison Miranda scored a spectacular first-round knockout against Willie Gibbs here on Boxing After Dark last month, which launched him to stardom, at least in a boxing sense. He's the middleweight everyone wants to see. Pavlik went 8 rounds here, not a first-round knockout. But when you go those 8 rounds, you get to show more. What did Pavlik show tonight? He has good technique, but lapses in that technique. However, those defensive lapses, which resulted in him taking clean shots, also demonstrated he's got a sturdy set of whiskers. The guy can take a punch. I like what I saw from Kelly Pavlik. Going forward, the question is going to be, especially if it's against Edison Miranda, can he correct those defensive lapses? Because showing a good set of whiskers against Zertucci is not the same thing as showing it against Miranda. I don't know if there's such a thing as a good set of whiskers against Edison Miranda. The guy punches too hard.
Yeah, Miranda first has to get through Green, but Pavlik trying to do what he can to get in the conversation at 160 pounds in the middleweight division, one of the finest in the sport. So Pavlik a winner, Jorge Arce a winner here at the Honda Center in Anaheim. Thanks for joining us on Boxing After Dark. Let's take a look at some upcoming boxing programming coming your way on HBO. February 10th, World Championship Boxing offers up Shane Mosley's return to the ring and to the welterweight division when he faces off with former 147-pound champion Luis Colasso. Also that night, former 140-pound titleist Vivian Harris takes on Juan Lescano. Next on HBO, stay tuned for Rome. So for Lennox Lewis, Max Kellerman, and the entire Boxing After Dark group, I'm Fran Charles. Thanks for being with us from Anaheim, California.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.